If you've ever seen a picture of Bangkok, you've probably seen this, a massive, towering spire, absolutely covered in a shimmering mosaic, right on the banks of the Chao Phraya River. That, my friends, is Wat Arun, the Temple of Dawn. And let me tell you, it is so much more than just a beautiful landmark. It's like an entire universe built from stone and porcelain.
And it's not an exaggeration to say that this temple is the very seed from which Bangkok grew. I mean, this spot is foundational to the city's identity. If you really want to get Bangkok, you have to understand the story of this temple. And it's a story that starts way, way before the city we know today even existed.
All right, so let's dive right in. We're going to start at the very beginning, with the temple's incredible origin story. So this place has a super long and layered history, right? There was a temple here in some form all the way back in the Ayutthaya period. But the defining moment, the one that changed everything, came in 1768. A general, General Taksin, shows up right at dawn after a huge battle and basically says, "This is it. This is where we build the new capital." And for a while, it even housed Thailand's most sacred object, the Emerald Buddha. Yeah, they brought it over from Vientiane in 1779, before it eventually got moved across the river to its current home.
And that whole arriving at sunrise thing? Well, that's exactly where the temple gets its famous name. It's named for Aruna, the Hindu god of the dawn. Kind of perfect, right? It just beautifully captures the temple's role in the birth of a whole new era for the kingdom.
Okay, now let's get into the most iconic feature of the temple, that incredible central spire. It's called a Prang, and we're going to decode what it all means. First off, let's just get this key term down. Prang. What is it? Well, it's a special kind of tower, an idea that comes from Khmer architecture. And it's not just a pretty spire. Oh no. It's a symbol for something huge, Mount Meru. This is the mythical five-peaked mountain that, in Hindu-Buddhist belief, sits at the absolute center of the physical and spiritual universe.
But what really makes Wat Arun stand out is its surface. I mean, look at it. It's not painted, it's not carved from one big piece of stone. No, it's literally covered, painstakingly, I might add, with millions of little pieces of colorful, broken porcelain and seashells. It creates this absolutely dazzling mosaic that just glitters in the sun. It's incredible.
But that has to make you wonder, right? I mean, where in the world did a temple in 19th century Thailand get millions of pieces of broken Chinese porcelain?
Well, the answer is just this fantastic story about early global trade and some seriously clever recycling. You see, Chinese trade ships sailing to Bangkok were too light, so they needed something heavy to weigh them down, ballast. What did they use? Tons and tons of cheap, broken porcelain. When they got to port, they'd just dump it. But instead of letting it all go to waste, someone had the brilliant idea to use it to decorate the temple. On top of that, local people would donate their own beautiful Thai pottery, called benjarong, as a way to earn spiritual merit.
All right, so we've got the history, we've got the materials, but the temple's design goes even deeper. It's meant to be a profound spiritual journey. In fact, when you climb Wat Arun, it's like you're climbing through the universe itself.
No, really. The entire complex is laid out like a physical map of the Hindu-Buddhist cosmos. That central prong, that's Mount Meru, and as you climb up its different levels, you are symbolically moving through the different realms of existence. Okay, let's walk through this journey together. The very bottom, the base, that's the mythical Himaphan forest at the foot of Mount Meru. Then you climb to the first terrace, and bam, you're in the world of demons, surrounded by all these grimacing statues. Go up again to the second terrace, and now you're in the world of monkeys, a nod to the great Ramayana epic. And finally, when you get to the top, you've reached the upper realms, the world of the gods, as close to the heavens as you can get.
And if you've ever actually visited, you know those stairs are, well, they're famously steep, like really steep and narrow. But that's completely intentional. The physical challenge of that climb is a metaphor for the difficult spiritual path to enlightenment. It's supposed to be hard. It's a journey that takes real effort and focus.
So that brings us to today. How does this ancient icon fit into the modern world? Well, it's not just some dusty historical monument. It's a living, breathing site, and it's facing some very modern challenges. Just a few years ago, the temple went through this massive 5-year restoration. Now, for a lot of people, the image they had of Wat Arun was this dark, green, weathered look, covered in moss and stained by time. But after the restoration, it came out a gleaming, brilliant white, which is actually much closer to how it originally looked.
And this change sparked a huge public debate about what's more important, history, memory, or authenticity.
And this restoration was incredibly meticulous. Just to give you an idea, out of about 300,000 decorative tiles on the spires, they had to replace around 120,000 that had deteriorated. So even though the look is different, a whole lot of the original material is still right there, just carefully preserved.
And this brings up another modern tension, which I think this quote from a recent visitor just captures perfectly. It talks about the temple being full of visitors posing for Instagram photos instead of admiring the architecture. It really gets to the heart of the question. How does a sacred site balance its spiritual purpose with being a top-tier tourist destination, especially in the age of social media? It's a problem that landmarks all over the globe are dealing with.
And partly in recognition of all this, its history, its cultural importance, there's a big move happening right now. Thailand is formally trying to get Wat Arun listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a huge step that would help secure its legacy and make sure it's preserved for generations to come.
So if all this has you thinking about planning a trip to see this incredible place for yourself, let's get into a few practical tips. First off, where is it? You'll find the temple right on the west bank of the Chao Phraya River. It's smack in the historic heart of Bangkok, literally right across the water from the Grand Palace and Wat Pho. All right, here are a few key things to remember for your visit. My best advice? Go early in the morning. You'll get beautiful, soft light and way fewer crowds. However, for that classic, iconic photo, the best view is actually from a boat or a rooftop bar on the other side of the river at sunset. Getting there is super easy. Just take a ferry to Tai Tien Pier, then a little boat across the river. And of course, remember, this is a sacred site, so you've got to dress modestly. Cover your shoulders and knees. Right now, the entrance fee for foreigners is 100 baht. So when you step back and look at it, Wat Arun is so many things at once. It's a historical record, it's a map of the entire universe, and it's a modern-day icon. It's a place that really tells the story of Bangkok itself, from its very dawn to the bustling city it is today. So I guess the only question left is, when you look at the Temple of Dawn, what will you see?